Well then, everyone, just another routine 3 points at Dingwall. No fears at all, no nerves at all. Never in doubt, John.
Never in doubt. Roller coaster, Hamish. That's what Ange says, and that was a bit of one. I mean, genuinely though, I always felt like we were going to get another opportunity towards the end,
Yeah.
and thankfully we took it when it came. But I thought that was a really thrilling, entertaining game of football. I thought Ross County gave a good account of themselves, and I really actually enjoyed it from start to finish. It was a tough test for Celtic, but when Celtic come through it, you pick up the 3 points, and there's a couple of fine performances, particularly Jota. Then there's a lot to be happy about.
This is the side that started the match. Moritz Jens and David Turnbull coming in to the team. And Jens obviously scoring a pretty big goal later in the day. Obviously, I think we found out, John, that Stephen Welsh is unwell, and that's the reason that he wasn't in the matchday squad at all. Any other thoughts on the team when it was announced?
It was actually about the team that I would have gone for. I know some people were calling for Giakoumakis and Abada, but I think the performances of Kyogo and Maeda last time at Dingwall in April was a signifier that would get at them again today. And I actually thought, the performance in that first half wasn't too bad. So I feel like the selection was probably justified in the end.
I felt first half that we moved the ball around well. I thought we started with real purpose. Just that kind of final ball and taking that opportunity as well. I felt like we had chances in the first half. Maeda had a header. O'Reilly had one where I think he took far too long and should probably have scored. Maeda had one at the end of the half as well, where the goalkeeper made a really good save. We were getting so much space, especially the two centre-backs and especially on the right-hand side with Carter Vickers. And just felt as if throughout the game we maybe didn't use that well enough. I think it was a tactic from County to allow Carter Vickers to come with the ball, and I just felt at times we could have used that better. But in general, first half, I was, even though we hadn't got the breakthrough in the first 45 minutes, I went into half time not really too fearful about the game.
No, I wasn't fearful at halftime at all. I actually thought we played consistently better in that first half than perhaps we did against Aberdeen at points, where we let Aberdeen into it towards the end of the first half. So aside from just not making the breakthrough or creating that clear-cut chance that, you'd think that someone really should score, I felt the first half was going pretty smoothly, and I always had faith it would come flying at the blocks again. And obviously Jota kind of took the game by the scruff of the neck in the opening period of that second half and set up that Kyogo goal. I thought Jota was outstanding today. I think he was fully justified, why we've paid money for him, why he's in the team, why he's playing. He just looks very creative in a lot of different kinds of situations. And I think you saw that again today where, it was like his work ethic to win the ball back when he initially set up the first Kyogo goal, then the skill to kind of combine with McGregor, then actually showing strength to get around the defender, to create the space to pull it back for Kyogo. It was kind of multiple areas of his game were shown off in the one burst of play. And then the ball in for the winner, the second goal for Gents, I thought was fantastic as well. So I was delighted with what Jota had to show today.
Could easily have gone down for the first goal, could easily have gone down and won the penalty. And I thought it was a wee glimpse into him that he wasn't keen just to go down and get the penalty. He wanted to get past the defender, cut it back, and Kyogo takes the chance really well. And I felt, again, second half, we started with a real intensity. And I kind of felt like the goal was coming at that stage. I then don't get to see the Ross County equaliser because you've not seen it. Have you seen a replay at all? Because if not,
no.
we're going in the dark here. Right, well,
No,
Ross County apparently scored. I think it was a set piece. Iacovete, given that we haven't seen it, are we going to refrain from any judgmental statements? Terrible defending. What was Greg Taylor doing?
Yeah, it was a header from a corner. Nobody's seen it, or at least I don't think many people seen it, because Celtic TV went down just at that moment. Both legitimate and nefarious means, I believe. So for a 5-minute period, nobody had any eyes on the match at all apart from those who were at the game. So yeah, Iacovete from a corner. Not sure what's going on there. We'll need to see a replay, but obviously passing judgment on how that goal went in.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like we've kind of conceded quite a few set pieces, and it feels like a lot of them have come up in Dingwall. just touching what you kind of said earlier on, you weren't really in doubt about a winner coming. I don't think I was either, but that clock's always ticking down, and I didn't actually feel we had any massive opportunities before the Jens goal. I felt to an extent like we had. Don't get me wrong, we had been pressuring them, but I felt to an extent it kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, it was a worked set piece and a great header.
I wasn't banking on the 3 points. I wasn't certain of the victory. I just felt like we had another chance coming in us. And to be fair, at that point, Ross County were kind of getting a bit of possession back again, kind of knocking on the door. The goal actually comes from O'Reilly clearing the ball quickly, and
Oh, did it?
forcing
I remember that.
forced us up to the other end of the pitch, and then we won the quick corner. So it was kind of like it was a little bit end to end at that point. But I always feel like when a game gets that kind of end to end stage, you're always going to back Celtic in those situations against a team like County, because no offence, obviously we have much stronger attacking quality on the pitch and can create something out of nothing. And I felt Jota's ball in for Jens, and to be fair to the big guy, he really committed to it. He really committed to running into the box at that particular time, and I thought his header was great, and it was a great moment for him. You seen him celebrating with the fans and going ballistic. A little bit of a Ralston moment for him on his debut. So I was delighted to see that go in, obviously.
Amazing to see a centre back attack the ball like that and head it in. I mean, goals like that are amazing. We'll maybe touch on Jens in a wee minute. Before that, something that I just glossed over. Joe Hart makes an
Yeah,
unbelievable save. Like, I mean, people talk about Joe Hart, and it's almost become the thing that when you talk about Joe Hart, you talk about almost the intangibles that he brings to Celtic. You talk about the leadership, the big character, the experience. I sometimes think people, overlook the big saves he makes and what a good goalkeeper he is. And he made a few last season at key moments. And that one today, I mean, I thought that it was a weird free kick. I don't know if you've seen it back.
yeah,
Don't know
no,
what
I've seen it. Yeah,
Kyogo is doing in the wall. I mean, it's bizarre. He's kind of kneeling down behind the wall. It's like that. I can't remember what the term for it, but when someone lies at the bottom of the wall, but he's like kneeling down. It was bizarre, but it gets deflected, and I just thought it was in the back of the net, and we're staring down, a 200 feet up in Dingwall, and somehow Joe Hart manages to get down, and not just that, he gets a strong arm on it. It is an unbelievable save. I mean, for me, if we see a better save than that from him all season, I'll be surprised.
it was a fantastic save, and again, you just immediately seen him trying to get up and distribute the ball again. I mean that's what I love about Joe Hart, is that he's so committed to what we're doing under Ange. He doesn't just make big saves; he's kind of bought all into the way we're trying to play, the way we're trying to turn over possession, trying to turn over teams. So, fantastic save from him. And I agree. I don't think he. I mean, Celtic fans love him and love his personality and what he offers Celtic, but sometimes feel like those big moments are kind of underlooked almost. But it was a big moment today, and fair play to him. I think he's been fantastic since he joined Celtic in many different ways. But I think today he showed, like, as an outright goalkeeper, as a shot stopper, like he can come up with a big moment when we do need him to do that.
Did people not say that down to his left was the major issue? I mean, there's evidence right there.
I mean, that became a bit of a meme at one point. I mean, there's always a lot of analysis done before players sign, but I always maintain and always say that it only really matters what they do in a Celtic jersey. And so far, Hart has been more than good enough for me. And I think he's improving as well all the time. I think he's going to become more and more important at Celtic Park when we kind of try to split those central defenders and push up. I don't think we'll be seeing that from him in games like today, as often where it's a tight ground and the team are trying to get on top of us. But I think at Celtic Park he could become increasingly important in the possession sense as well. And we're going to need big saves from him because the Champions League is its own thing and teams are going to create chances against us. And if he can pull out a few big stops at crucial times, his popularity and standing will only increase at Celtic.
Yeah, it was a world class save at a huge point in the game. I'm laughing because I've got written down here, want to see more from Abada. I felt he came on. He came on at half time, didn't he, for Maida? And I just felt there was a lot of opportunities that he didn't make the most of. And then he shuts this daft idiot up by curling in an absolute beauty. And given us, I think we deserved a 2-goal win today in terms of the chances. And I thought the performance in general was good, but getting that third goal was a great way to kind of finish off the afternoon. And what a goal as well. It's the third one Jota sets up of the day, and the finish is sublime. Jota had one earlier on in the game that he tried to curl in and it just went wide, and that finish from Abada was brilliant.
I mean, he's a fantastic finisher. It was interesting because I don't actually know if he came on like as a tactical decision or whether Maeda, he
I think
looked
he
like
was
he picked up
injured, they
a,
were saying.
yeah, he kind of picked up a knock towards the end of the first half. But Abada comes into the game, and as you said, he was quite quiet for much of that. But like you're saying, he can finish from a lot of different situations, and it's the way he took it on the turn. It's just fantastic technique to curl it round the defender and get it into the back of the net. But it was all kind of in one movement. He kind of takes the ball, turns and finishes, and all in one movement, and it's just fantastic to watch that kind of thing. As you say, Jota with his third assist of the day. That goal's all about Abada, but Jota is popping up in different places all over the pitch and was just at the heart of everything good we did today.
See the man of the match for you?
Undoubtedly, yeah. What about
Trying
yourself?
to think, he probably would be for me as well. I'm trying to think who else impressed me. Um, I think probably the defence you would look at Jens as having a good game and scoring that big goal. I thought Juranovic was all right today. I felt the midfield was maybe not quite at it. McGregor's had much better games. O'Reilly was getting involved, but not really coming off for him today. I thought Turnbull was kind of the same. So I think it's a big win going to Ross County and having quite a few players maybe not being quite at it and still coming away with a 3-1 victory. In terms of Jens, away from his goal, what did you make of his first start?
Yeah, I thought he was good, comfortable. Like he looked comfortable. He's obviously still just getting used to it as well. I think you could kind of see that at points, and that's not as a criticism of him. It's just I felt like we were maybe not quite as adept at building through him than we might have been had Stephen Welsh have played. But I thought he grew into the game more and more. He made a couple of decent contributions at our own end, and then obviously, I mean, you can't argue with the goal. And if he becomes a goal threat at set pieces and stuff like that, then it's going to be a big contributor to Celtic, beyond his kind of base duties and the distribution. Because I kind of felt like we've missed that goal threat in a way from the defenders at times over the last 12 months. And I think Jens has kind of the stature and capability to do that. But I'm saying that, but Welsh scored last week, Jens scored
Yep.
this week. I mean, it's things are looking a bit better in that regard. I'm eager to see what happened for their goal, and see what had happened there. But I thought overall the 90 minutes, I thought he looked comfortable, and I think he's only going to improve from there. I mean, if that's his first goal after a couple of weeks training, then he's only going to grow more familiar with seeing so much of the ball and kind of having to distribute and spread the play.
I did hear his name mentioned on the radio for the county equaliser, so I think he was involved in some way. So it'll be interesting to see that. You feel sorry for Carol Starfelt because Jens is coming in, first game scores. Starfelt's probably played 60 odd games and not scored for the club yet. But, I thought in general it was a good, solid game. He's clearly very comfortable in possession. That was one of the things that we knew about him before the match. Defending, I think he had a couple of moments. He maybe even picked up a yellow card at one stage for a tackle that he kind of got tangled up a little bit. I think the one that led to the really good Joe Hart save. In possession, I felt, as I said earlier, that he and Carter Vickers maybe just took a little bit too long at times, and I felt I kind of wanted them to really run into that space and open the game up. It felt as if at some occasions they were taking the kind of easy option, but I think for a debut, a first start, really commanding in the air. He won a lot of headers today, really comfortable with the ball in both feet, and he scores effectively the winning goal. So, not a bad debut.
Yeah,
I need to stop saying debut.
as I say, like you'll get quicker with that kind of thing we're talking about, and kind of moving the ball on or knowing when to commit with the ball. I actually thought, you're saying that about Carter Vickers, but there was attempts there where he kind of was trying to progress the ball into midfield. He had one particular run where he found himself in the box even,
Yeah, nearly scored.
and had an effort. So I think he's trying to improve that side of his game as well. We'll see how that develops over the course of the season. I think it's something that Ange probably wants more of. It is difficult at an away ground like that to do that. I think we might see the benefits more of that from coming at Celtic Park in terms of how the defenders can really help push us on in an attacking sense. But I thought they both looked comfortable today. So no real complaints there.
Yeah, it feels like quite a big win. It's always weird to say that 2 weeks into the season. But, County gave us troubles last season. It's a ground that I think not many clubs are going to go to this season and come away with 3 points. I think they're a decent enough team. I think they're only going to get stronger as the season goes on. And remember, we're there in a couple of weeks for the League Cup as well. So just the team once again finding a way to win. Thought it was interesting that the support really stuck with the team today. Once again, a brilliant Celtic support, made most of the noise in that stadium throughout the game. Maybe last season, when we didn't have the evidence of the team playing till the end and scoring these last gasp goals, there would have been more groaning and kind of turning on the team a little bit. Admittedly, it was kind of hard to hear at times, but I just get the impression that, given that the team have now proven that they can go to the end and score these goals, that the support, in my opinion, are just that little bit calmer. I certainly felt calmer going into the closing stages.
I mean, I think that's true of the first couple of months, but I mean, really, I've always felt like the support have been so in lockstep with this Ange team ever since that game at Pittodrie, really, where we kind of scored late on there. I think I understand what you mean, but I actually think the supporters have been really, even that game against the Ross County, the late winner from Ralston, that Ross County game, even then the crowd were phenomenal that night. I remember really pushing the team on. It was never gotten to the stage where anyone was getting pelters for kind of misplacing a pass or misplacing the ball. It's important that the players get support, and I think they have. Because they need to try things that are a little bit riskier at that point. They need to try have the bravery to try things at that point. So I get what you're saying about the support in the very early stages of the last season, but I think they've been superb for like the last 8 to 10 months in that regard. So and again today, it was 1,500 at the ground at the stadium today, and really pushing on the team throughout. So that was good to see as well.
Yeah, well, I certainly felt different. I mean, at the games last December, I was very nervous going into these, and I get it's 2 weeks into the season, but I felt, I just felt as if, like you say, we would have got that big opportunity. The clock was, you're probably looking at 6-7 minutes to go when we scored, and I still always felt we would get that one big opportunity. But I thought the support was great again today. Just really good backing, and obviously got the victory that we deserve. And I mean, I think we just go for here. We've got another week now until our next match. It's 6 points from 6. I think next week's going to be tough again at Rugby Park. And we'll see how that goes. We'll take a look at the other results from today in the Premiership. Big win for Aberdeen against St Mirren. St Johnstone winning 2-1 at Motherwell, and Rangers beating Kilmarnock 2-0 in a couple of games tomorrow as well. So I don't have the table, John, but I believe we're still top of it, and hopefully it stays the same way after tomorrow.
Yeah, but hopefully. I mean, just on Kilmarnock, I think they held Rangers out for a good hour or something there. So they've had a good workout against the team that will have dominated that game. So, like, that's a good kind of build up for them, for us visiting them at Rugby Park. And I think I agree. I think it's going to be another difficult game, difficult surface. Derek McInnes will have them up for that. So you kind of never that easy in a game against one of his teams. But I actually think Ross County are probably a better side than Kilmarnock. Yeah. And I actually think Ross County did well and responded well to our scoring of the goal today. So I think fair play to them, and I think actually, like you're saying, it's a really positive result, because I think Ross County will be, one of the maybe possibly in top 6 again. If their new signings kind of hit the ground running against the rest of the league. I know they've opened their league campaign with 2 defeats, but they gave a good go of it against Hearts last week. They gave a good go of it again today. And I think in time, a lot of teams will be going to Dingwall and having a difficult day of it. So I think for Celtic to overcome that and kind of come through that period in the game where it did look, a little bit shaky in the build up to their goal and just after it, I think is a good sign from us. I mean, I don't think there's been no let up for me in the attitude or the kind of intent of this Celtic team from last season into this season. Not that I expected it to, but it's just good to see that they're just as relentless, they're just as determined to pick up results even this early in the season, and not settling for a point or not settling for anything and just going all out to get the win. And I mean, you could see that today when Jane scored the winner, the players were piling forward. We were trying to get the ball up the pitch quickly, and that little bit of creativity from Jota to get on the end of that was fantastic.
Yeah, and still so much more to come. I think, a lot of players haven't quite clicked into gear yet, and I think when they do, hopefully we can get some bigger results and really go on a winning run. But can't fault the start to the season. 6 points from 6, a couple of kind of tough looking games navigated. The league's I just think the league at the moment is quite strong, and most weekends now, certainly away from home, you're looking at pretty tough games. So we just keep going, as we say, Kelly away next weekend, a real opportunity, I think, to try and win all our games ahead of the derby that I think is match day 6. So we're still on track for that. Just finally, Stephen Kelly wondering what the allocation is for Rugby Park next week. I believe it's just under 4,000. I think it's 3,900 odd. So just the Chadwick stand. I always get those two mixed up. I think it's a Chadwick stand. So a bigger support. I think we only had a couple of thousand there today, so a bigger support coming next weekend. Anything else, John?
No, I think that's it. It's pretty quiet otherwise, news-wise at Celtic. It was all kind of about today and where the team's going. As we're kind of saying, the team have an opportunity to kind of train for the full week, do a little bit of extra work and training, no midweek games to take care of, and I think that's a real positive at the moment. I know we said that in pre-season, but I think us not having qualifiers at the moment just really plays into our hands in terms of preparing for these games, and we'll just, I'm looking forward to kind of seeing out this August period with really positively, and hopefully with a 100% record going into the derby and into the Champions League group stages, because it'll all ramp up from there and get more intense and a lot of scrutiny on Celtic. So we need to give ourselves as good a base as possible, and I think today was an important part towards that, because it'll probably be one of our more difficult games ahead of that Rangers one.
Yeah, make the most of your midweeks off at the moment, because the Champions League and League Cup action is coming very soon. Right, we will leave it there. Thanks everyone for tuning in. A good number of you on today. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night / Sunday morning, wherever you are, and we will be back very soon.